Hey, buddy, can you hear me?
Yes, but there is some weird sound going on.
Oh,
Now,
you're
now
probably
it's
getting.
fine.
Oh,
I kept
really?
hearing like notifications. Yes,
Oh, okay. Okay. I think they can hear us too. Can you guys
even
hear us
better.
both?
Okay. I had the stream sound on, so I was hearing myself two times and you as well.
Okay. Uh,
So we are already here. Everyone can already hear us.
yeah, they can. I didn't realize that would be a fact. Is that cool?
Yeah. No worry.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. Glad we did
Hi
the.
everyone.
Yeah, everyone can hear you. I just realized that. Sorry, I realized it too. Same time you did. um,
Don't worry, it's fine. It's fine.
um, Yeah, so everybody, this is Raf, our good friend of the stream already at this point. He and I have been so Raf and I have been friends for at least a year now. I'm not sure how long. But he
Yeah, I think it's something like that.
yeah, something like that. He is a he's I think one of the best free to play AFK players in the world. He's very, very humble about that. He'll argue with you about it all day long. So we'll just say he's certainly
Yes, I will.
one of the farthest free to play players in campaign in the world. He's in chapter
That
50. Yeah.
with that I kind of agree.
Okay. All right. Good. He is in chapter 51 as a free player. And how long have you played now, Ralph?
It's like 1 month over 4 years.
Okay. Wow. Oh, that's right. I
Uh,
remember
I
you did.
started
Yeah.
in I started in April 2019.
Okay. That's so awesome, man. I love that you and I mean honestly that's at this point I've played for about as long and we're getting to the point where the difference between us is really not going to be that much more anymore, it's less than a year.
Yeah, no, it's not less than a year. Right now, it's basically nothing. I remember that like in 1 year they released
Well,
what signature
now I
items
mean,
and
well, hold on, it's not nothing. I mean, no, you're right. It
it depends
absolutely
also
is.
when you started playing seriously. Because if you're not playing seriously since the moment you start, you're never going to catch up. But I started playing seriously like a year and a half after I started, maybe even 2 years. And right now I'm not playing seriously, so I'm really like I think that if you play seriously from the start, there is a way to catch up with other free-to-play players. Now, of course, given that they do not play the best they can every single day, because if everyone is given the same conditions, then time is a factor. But if someone just plays for the fun of it, then you can catch up with basically anyone.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, if someone is playing to right, if you're maximizing conditions, then time matters. But yeah, of course, if people aren't playing to maximize, then it doesn't. And that's that's something that I'm hyper aware of sometimes when I look at and this is going to sound ridiculous, but I look at how far I am and I think about the time that I've personally have spent. Sometimes I think about the time that I've spent on the other accounts that I have and I go, well, I could be a little bit farther. I do, and I mean I'm sure that's silly, but we all think we could do, better than we do. But definitely, yeah, it's the amount of time well, you said that you think people could there's a way for people to catch up if they're starting now. Like what did you mean by that? Did you just mean what you said about how if they're playing
Well,
seriously? Or?
I think that and I was talking about this the other day with a friend, but there are two main things that I believe really benefit newer players. That is, all of the resources are easier to get. So, like when I started, when they introduced signature items, for example, it took like months to get one single plus 30 signature item, and now
Oh yeah,
it takes I don't know a week if you want. With one event, you can get like 3 signature items if you want.
sure.
Personally, I don't even consider signature items anymore because I know that I get enough from well passively from various
Totally,
events
totally
and stuff
agree.
like that.
Same way. Yep, I'm the same way. I don't even think. I mean, sometimes I've had to think about emblems, but when I do even, it's not that bad because I know that there'll be an event coming up soon where I can get them, or, it's yeah, you're absolutely
Yeah.
or I can get them from chests if I need to make that choice. You
And,
know
and I personally spent like a year and a half just collecting signature item materials. And now players do not really need to do that anymore because there is an easier way to get them without using all your resources in events to get those. And also newer features like pets right now, you start from the same point. Everyone starts from the same point. So
Right,
uh,
when they add a new feature, you mean,
I
right?
have
So you're saying when they
I
add a
do
new
know,
feature, you mean like when they add a new
yes,
feature, we're all starting for yeah, totally.
yes. I do know that I have the privilege of being set with everything else, so I can focus on the new features, whereas other players do not have this kind of privilege.
Yep.
But we are starting from the same point, so it kind of levels up a bit the field.
It does. I know. I think I got Beast Res 9 before you did a little bit, a couple weeks or something.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Yeah,
But I
briefly.
also had
But I was just
I
gonna say,
focused
but you, well, I'm not
on
not
Wing
for
Lion.
competing. My point was, he's like, well, he's like, well, but no, you also, yes, no, you had Winged Lion at 18, and I wasn't saying that I beat you to it. I was saying that yes,
No.
that we do start. My point was, you're right. We all start from zero. We start from the same point at them. Yeah, no, and that's a great example of prioritization, right? Of how you prioritize that Winged Lion. I still can't believe you have a level 18 Winged Lion already. That's just so awesome, and it helps so. And I know that one of the reasons you did it was for pushing campaign, right? For combat rating.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, so yeah, so my Winged Lion, I chose to prioritize Winged Lion. As well as far as which one I chose when I read through the skill abilities. And actually at first the one that I liked the sound of when beasts were brand new, when I didn't realize how, I'm not sure any of us really knew how serious beasts were going to be, like how important. I guess if you had asked me, I would have said like, yeah, they'll probably end up being massive, but I still, just like any new feature, I don't think I really knew how to play like they were important, if that makes sense. And like by prioritizing lures and baits, for example. And like that's one of the things that I've benefited from having my alt account is I liked the idea of Frost Beast and how it like lets the middle hero at the back like land its control ability without I think it like removes maybe all tenacity points, or it does something to make that skill land like almost no matter what. And
Mm.
so I thought that sounded cool, and I like built it up just to see, because at the time my hero was really weak, and I was thinking, oh, maybe maybe this could like help my Mahira be, I don't know. So but as soon as I was trying it on Danger, I was like, this is shit. So I was able to, Danger's my alt for people that don't know. I have a free to play alt that's in chapter 41 that I actually stopped playing when Beasts came out. Nice. You just hit. I don't know if you saw that. I'm slowly playing campaign here in the background. Um, uh, yeah. So actually, when Beasts came out, that suddenly one of the best parts of Beasts, I think, has been the fact that it's made all different aspects of the game are like infinitely more pushable and playable, because it's an extra tool for us in the player toolbox that allows it, like suddenly I'm able to push a lot harder and farther on things than I was before we had beasts. Things were a lot more, cut and dry as to what you could and couldn't accomplish with your teams before they added beasts, and now it's all gray in a great way. It's all like muddied now. Um,
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
yeah. Um, so anyway, I have been prioritizing Winged Lion, um, and mine's at level 15 right now. So that's, I mean, that's rad, and it helps me with the combat rating, which is why I've been trying to keep it as forward as I can. I was surprised that I think I got a pretty serious DPS boost from Winged Lion 15. Even that skill seemed to be pretty strong. Did you notice a big boost at 18, or what levels of Winged Lion did you notice a big difference?
Yeah. Well, to be honest, uh, when pushing, eh, like Wing Lion puts the biggest difference in single stages because, well, in my case, since he's my strongest pet, I just do it just for the combat rating. So that's what I
Sure.
need to do.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
in single fights, it's basic. Well, before Belinda came out, it was basically only Thor and Cheesy, so it didn't really matter what pet I was using because Thor was going to take care of it anyway. But I think that um, at 18, there is a massive boost. If you go read I have my phone down, so I can read
Sure.
the various descriptions because I can't remember every single detail. But
Tell me what it
at
is. I'll
level
look it up.
18, you get 25 physical pierce point and
Oh
25
yeah.
magical pierce points, and those it's like a clean 25% damage boost.
Yeah. Am.
That
Is that Winged
and that's
Lion 18?
yes, and that's insane. That's
Yeah.
really an insane amount of damage boost just for a single pet. And another thing, the stats from the pet benefit the whole party, and that's another thing that pets do that it's kind of I was not expecting them to be that strong and that quickly because for example when you had engravings when they were released,
Hmm.
I think it took you I don't know how many months to have a 5 team of E60 heroes.
Yeah.
And right now, I'm with a level 18 pet that benefits my whole team. And I don't remember how long was it pets were released, but I don't think it was that long ago.
Hmm.
And I already
About a
have
year. About a year
resonance
now.
in them. So,
Yeah, it's been about, I think, pretty close to a year exactly.
eh, I mean, they give you a kind of freedom and also a kind of overall boost that you don't get. We didn't get with other features because the only one that's kind of similar is the tree. But with the tree, it's not that fast to get that much power from
Hmm.
just from the branches and everything. Uh, I don't know if this is a problem, but I don't see anyone writing anything in the chat. I don't know if I'm the only
I
one
think they're just
seeing the stream.
listening.
I don't know if they
To be
just
honest
went
with you,
quiet.
I think they can hear us. I think they're just captivated.
Well,
You guys still there? You're right that no one is talking. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Yeah, Bama's still here.
oh, okay, there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're here.
okay. I was just
I
wondering
know.
because
No, yeah, they're
everyone is
yeah.
usually there writing and
I know. Yeah, they're a little quiet. It is a little bit early, but that's in order to be able to get you, I had to. Yeah, yeah, I think yeah, that's what, like Raphael said. I think they're mostly just really listening, and plus it'll all be. I'm sure that people will. Yeah, nice, Raphael. I'm sure that people will rewatch it as well. I'm gonna cut it for YouTube, although probably won't have to cut much because I mostly just mean I'll chop off the rest of the stream. Um, and so it'll we'll be helping people. Sure. So assume like the world is watching. You're no, that was good though because it I mean especially with my nub ass being new to the streaming thing, it still hasn't been 3 months yet that I've been streaming, which is crazy to think about. I can't I like it feels like forever ago. It hasn't even been 3 months, um, and uh, and so yeah, we very well could have been disconnected. It's in some fashion. So yeah, Augie
Yeah,
says it's
it's
not
just that
early.
I mean
Good.
there's always so much to say about everything because
Hmm.
like I like to say the good things so that I can play relaxed and I know that everything is going to be okay. But there are a lot of things we could talk that are not going well with the game. And so I'm like, if anyone says anything, I'm going to to keep going or interact with that and say what I think it's wrong. But I believe it's better to just
Oh
play with a open mind or play open-minded and believe that the game is going to do well and just have fun as long as we have fun.
yeah, I
So
mean,
I was
sure.
just watching the chat to see if anyone was disagreeing with what I was saying, if anyone wanted to
Yeah,
add anything, but no.
right. I mean, sure, but see, and that's a great. Honestly, I think that's a great example of. Well, you're a humble guy, man. You really are. I think you know. I mean, I'm sure you guys. Hey, go for it, Raphael. But just while he's writing his question, I mean, guys, I think that's a great example of because Raf, I mean, you just think of yourself as just another like an equal and member of the community, but brother, you really are an exceptional AFK player, especially your your ability to understand and sub heroes, which is one of the strongest skills that a free to play player can have. I think is the being able to understand how the heroes are. Well, everybody should understanding how the heroes work is literally the game, Daniel. But good job, Danger. No, but understanding how they work and being able to substitute them and having that understanding of what will work where, I think is one of your best talents and serves you really well in push. I mean, you're in chapter 51 as a free player, man.
Well,
Uh,
I think I've grown kind of good in campaign because well, I've learned a lot of. I think I could talk for hours about various things, but
do go.
I
I
believe
got
that
time.
in campaign there is a lot of more fun and chances to watch what the heroes are doing. So there are lots of ways to learn from just doing things. Whereas in like Cursed Realm, I don't really enjoy watching the fight, so I just skip everything and I don't know what I'm doing wrong if I'm doing something wrong. So I believe that I'm good in campaign because I like watching what I'm doing in campaign, and I think that there is a good chance to watch what is going on in campaign. You cannot skip fights in campaign. So I'm there, I'm watching, and I'm learning. But in all other modes, I don't believe I'm that good because I'm not watching, I'm
You,
not learning. I just try to copy from whatever works. I try to mix and match what I see that works,
mm,
and then I get my results. But
well, I mean, it's for, and you probably know this,
in
but
in
a lot of
yes,
this.
in everything is in campaign just because I can watch what I'm doing in campaign and I'm learning in campaign.
Sure. I mean, you could watch what you're doing in the other modes.
Yes, but since I can skip it, I just do.
Right, but if you can skip it, you do. And you probably know this, but by skipping you almost always end up with a worse result when you skip content. The scores will be
I
high. The scores will be higher if you watch a fight through, on average, certainly.
I personally I noticed that I don't
That's
know why that is, and
the one hold on, the one exception to that, and I should add this right away, is the only reason I'm stopping you, is from what I can tell, Nightmare Corridor seems to be different. Nightmare Corridor seems to be pretty much it makes not no difference as to whether I watch the fights through or skip them. I can't verify it either way because I can't really verify it. You can no, that's not true. You can absolutely it's not even hard to do. We did it during last AE and on dump day. I'm fully into actually shit. We'll do it later on this afternoon. But you can. I would say we could do it right now, but it's not nearly as entertaining as some other stuff. So we'll do it later. But truly, in pretty much all game modes except Nightmare Corridor is the first exception I have noticed. You will do better if you watch the fight through. I don't know why that is. I'm sure it has something to do with
yeah,
the coding. I've heard
it's
different theories, but
I think it's a bit of I don't know. No, I don't know why that is, but I did notice that, and specifically in the temporary rift, I noticed that I had my heroes die. Then I watched the fight when I tried again, just to see what was going wrong, and then I won. And that happened on many occasions, and that was I was getting really angry about that, but
yep.
I just
Oh, so you noticed
learned
this
that
too? Yeah.
you gotta watch the
Yep.
fights, and
Yeah. It has something
but
to do.
but
So here's the way that I
but
can explain
personally,
it. I can explain it pretty well. Sorry, you weren't done. What were you gonna say?
personally I can enjoy watching the temporary rift fights, but I cannot be bothered with Cursed because it's too long. I don't really know what to watch for, what's going wrong, what is supposed to happen. So
Yeah, it definitely
With
becomes
Curse Ram, I just try to mix and match what I
sure.
see, and that's it.
It definitely becomes a game of preference at some point. Even and we can speak to this as well as about anybody, but um, you know, at some point there's only so much time in the day, right?
Yeah.
Especially as a free player. So, we can only put time into what we can put time into. So you got to kind of pick what you want to focus on and do best at. Um, Speaking of which, I should finish up this campaign session because, or I mean, this battle. We're down to the last two battles here, by the way. Um, and
Yeah.
it's lagging for some reason, which I don't know why. Once I finish this, I might restart the app. But anyway, I want to check my treasure scramble because I have been doing very well this round compared to the last few. Anyway, I used to do quite well, as you know, and it's been a saga of. I had it on. I hadn't touched it in months because I've been so busy setting up the stream, and I was finally slipping from just leaving it. Slipped from like I was around 3 to 6%, then it was like 6 to 8, and then it was like 8 to 10, and then it was like in the 10 to 14% range. And at that point, I started telling you guys a couple weeks ago, like, yo, I got to do something. Then, of course, and then I started trying, and it got even worse before it got better. But
Yeah, it's always like that.
yeah, right. um, and especially us free or low spenders even will say anybody who's not building heroes up to or prioritizing actually I mean I'm sure there are out there free players and low spenders who excel at PvP, but you kind of got to pick what you want to focus on, and in even especially if you're not spending a lot on the game, you got to pick what heroes you're going to invest in. And if you're not buying E80 heroes, that really limits what you're able to accomplish in PvP situations because I mean obviously because you don't get that buff.
Yeah, and PvP is also really about starting luck, because if you start in the good region, in a good server, then you're done. Personally, I haven't been fighting in the what's it called, the Legend Challenger tournament
Mhm.
in I don't know, maybe a year, and there are tons of people that could actually beat me, and just mm, I could lose a few spots easily, but no one
Mhm.
bothers. So, like for example, there is a guy with I don't know, 3 times my power that is outside the top 10, and I'm in the top 10 just waiting there, and he doesn't bother. So I'm just left there because I'm lucky that no one really checks the leaderboard, and nobody
Yeah.
cares
Um,
to fight.
I
But
I wish
there
you
are
were on
servers
my
in which
server.
everyone is fighting.
I wish you were on my because I've been sitting at 11 for about a year and a half. But those guys, they just won't quit, man. I told my about like a year and a half ago when I first got up to that point, I was like, man, this is so great. I'm gonna be in the top 10 soon. And then nobody on server 397 in the top 10 on the Legend Challenger tournament. They have not changed. Or if they did, someone quit and someone else bought. I think two players that I've noticed in the last 18 months, like I said, in recent months, in the last couple, I think two players have gotten up there, jumped in ahead of me. But that's if you're obviously if you're spending money, you're gonna be able to do that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but no, man, I wish you were on my server because I am constantly trying to get in there and I'm almost there to where I can challenge these guys. Um, but not quite yet. But yeah, Treasure Scramble. So I got all the way up to. I think I showed you last night. I've squeaked my way into 3%, and then I made my final adjustments last night, and I want to hop over there and see how we're doing. um, but I can't do that yet because I gotta solve this first. I forgot that, and of course, have you ever had it where you're running a thing with formations, and then for whatever reason, the next time you go to try and run it, the person that you were using their formation isn't there anymore, and you're like, Jesus, I don't remember what it was. Shit, like help. That's what I'm going through right now. Actually, I don't know if I used Brutus yet. Duh, that might be the way to go here. Hold on. Please tell me. Oh, I didn't. He's
It
right
has
there.
happened to me
Ah,
before, but
sorry, keep going.
like I'm usually quite quick with the campaign stages, so I try to
Mm,
um, I usually start with the stages, the fights that I know that are going to be very hard, so that I know if I need to fix something, if I need to ask for mercs. And then after that, I just start. And usually, well, usually, not usually, but often I can say that it just goes smoothly if I know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
There are times in which I need to change everything, and then it's all up to me. But usually I try to memorize very quickly the comps that I need, the different ones, the one that I know that might be interesting because they might help me sub out heroes that I don't have, I have no way of getting. So usually I know that when I start a fight, I know everything I need to know.
Mm-hmm.
And also I saw the question of Raphael in the chat, and it's a very hard to answer question
Yeah,
actually.
I was just gonna say we should get to Raphael. It is. Go ahead with what you were gonna say about it. I have thoughts on it.
Because it really depends on on what you want to do, because there is a safe option that is just going full on resonance, because resonance it's safe, it's reliable, and it's future proof, because if you have a high resonance, then any new pet, no matter how strong they are, you're going to have them resonated to resonance
That's a great
9,
point. Yeah.
resonance 12. And so that's really safe, and it's future proof, because pets are going to be
Yeah.
released, well, every 2 months for well, till the game lasts or something like that, like heroes are. So they will come, they will come stronger pets. So having a good resonance level, it's only going to help with them. And so that's future proof, it's safe, and there is, like, you cannot go wrong with resonance. But at the same time, having one single pet very, very invested in is going to help in campaign pushing, because it's going to help a lot
Yeah, you won't
in the
hit the
combat
comp. Yeah,
grinding.
yep, which we'll talk about in a minute.
And the right now also, and that's another strong point of for resonance, is that a lot of new modes require you to have multiple teams, multiple teams.
Right.
I forgot the pronunciation.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
it's multiple teams, so you are forced to have multiple pets at a high level. So having a good resonance it's only going to help there. While one single pet, or well, I don't know. Right now, I'm going to focus after Ring Lion. I'm going to focus on something like, I haven't really decided yet, but I think I'll go with Talisman and the Owl,
Mm,
and something like that. But focusing on only a few pets, it's only going to help in modes in which you only need one or two teams,
right.
three maybe.
Yep.
And right now, we don't have many of those.
Nope.
Like Twisted Realm, it's not a focus for me anymore, because I'm fabled, but anyway, it's not that important anymore. And besides that, there is not much else actually, because even in the Temporal Rift, we are getting where we are at. I personally am at 4 teams, but I believe that you can get to 5 if you
Yeah, I'm
get
sure.
past floor 240 or something like that. So even there, you're going to need more pets at a high level. In PvP content, you need to have uh, a lot of pets, because in Heroes of Experia, I think you get it 7 teams by the end of it, and uh, CR and C it's 6 teams, so 6 different pets, and they might change every few rounds. So resonance is just safe. But if you need, you need something, like I need to push campaign. I just know that that's where I have fun. Then I just focus on one single pet, and that's also going to return a lot of investment, because if you know what you're doing, that single pet is going to benefit you a lot than a lot of pets not so much invested in, as it is with heroes. Basically, you know that it doesn't make a lot of sense of having. Now I'm just watching at your team, but having a
Yeah.
30 F9 Mehira, it's not going to make as much sense as having uh, just a 30 signature item on row one. So you know
Wait,
you need to
what was that?
distribute your resources.
What was the last thing you just said? Not having a what? So, say that again.
So that you want to have your signature items and your investment resources not well distributed on the team, but just focus on the heroes that need them. I was watching the wrong team because in this
Sure.
team you don't really need much investment
Right.
on the very
Right.
heroes, but
I see. Yeah.
it's like I don't know if you were to go, I don't know.
It's
It's like going E60 with Iron and Skriaf just for the 5 bull team. That doesn't really make that much sense because the carry unit is going to be another one.
sure.
And so you want the investment on that unit because that unit is the one that's going to have
Yeah.
that single
I
team.
think yeah. So I think
Mm,
where it comes down to is kind of as you said, which one to prioritize depends what you want to focus on, but really the answer is and people might hate this, but the answer is kind of both because I think it's a balance.
yes.
I yeah, you need to have well, I would say I would personally recommend that people push as hard as they can for Beast Resonance 9 right off the bat because I felt like just a massive account power shift from the day that I got Beast Resonance 9. I feel like being able to have the 9 ability on most of the pets is like where
Yeah.
they really start to become something. Um, like for example, as I'm sitting here using Crown Rock Lizard, and I should probably change this team up
Yes.
here in a sec, but at the same time, I got down to like I was almost dead a minute ago, and so I felt like I could just I must have been talking, but uh, Crown Rock Lizard is at 9. He's able to stop a hero from dying, although it's not working here. um, and a Talisman gets the fear at 9. I'm pretty sure that's when Seal becomes a beast. There's actually there's a really great pet guide that Zero put together. It's super easy to understand. It's a great infographic. Um, and actually, I mean, shit, I have it real easy access here. Um, let me pull it up really quick. But Zero put it together. He runs the crowdsource Discord, which is an excellent resource, you guys. If you haven't checked out the crowdsource Discord before AFK Arena crowdsource, should. It's fantastic. And I have a link to both the pet guide that he made and to his crowdsource in general is on my Discord, which you can find by going to the About Me section on the Twitch here. But it's wait. Yeah, that's it. I think it's the most recent one. There it is. Can't miss it. Um, yeah, so he put this together. But just to show you guys for a second the what I'm talking about how they all become good at 9. So you end up with if I don't think you guys can see my mouse unfortunately, but the things just float around, right? You can't actually see the mouse. But if you look at the numbers here next to the pets, um, the there's like so in gray here is like a 3 at the so if you look at the winged lion up at the top, there's I should probably make it a little bigger so you guys can read it better, but there we go. So there's this gray 6 there for winged lion, and then the white 12 and the green 18. So and his key down here at the bottom shows so gray is the absolute minimum for to be using the pet to make it worth even throwing in his opinion, of course. White is where it gets good, and then green is where it has its maximum, like where it's not going to get a whole lot better from that point. And if you look at this guide, a lot of these numbers get, and of course, like we know this isn't particularly true. I don't know if I even agree about. Well, it does get really good at 12, the winged lion, but honestly, I think 9 is that so obviously, and that's why it's great to get different opinions on things because different players, especially different like veteran players, will have different opinions. about things. But if you look at this, there's a whole lot of those white nines on here, and it's because a whole lot of these pets get crazy good starting around 9. So, in my opinion, to answer Raphael's question, I would say pushing for Beast Res 9 would be a priority that I would tell everyone to do beyond almost anything else, because beasts are literally everywhere in this game. There's pretty much not any fights without them these days. As soon as right when they came out and people were kind of hating on it, I tried to explain it to like my guild members. So I run a guild for people that don't know. I'm guild leader. I didn't found it, but I was made guild leader of Defaced about, I don't know, a year and a half ago. And I love doing that too. Oh, you know what? I think I've had the camera off for a long time now. May as well turn that back on. Hi. Um, so I told a lot of my guild members at the start of Beasts that a great way to think about it is kind of like as a filter, right? Like a filter that you're putting your team through. So like the aside from Seal, because and they are getting stats on everything, but like uh the the flutter plume owl is kind of like a haste filter that'll especially boost casters, and the winged lion is a like a extra sharp point for agility players, especially, or intelligent players. But you get, it's like it's a filter that changes so, and like at level 9, Talismane is a filter that you can throw over your team to change it, the color of fear, because it'll start fearing and just it's just a way to like alter your team a little bit. It adds a different flavor to it, is another thing you could call it. So I think that 9 is the way to focus on. That said, to get back around to Raphael's question and the point here, kind of, I like you also want to have, for a few different reasons, you also want to have a beast that is your champion beast, right? Like as Raf did, I also chose Winged Lion to be my kind of like champ beast. But you need to have it for that extra push where you need on different levels, in whether it's for obviously for single team, and especially for campaign, like Raf has been saying. We get stuck on, if you're really pushing, if you want to be like an end game free to play, or even an early game player, if although it doesn't really happen as much early, but you'll end up with this combat rating thing, which is a great segue into it. So we'll get on that in a second, Raf. But where you can't actually start a fight until you are at a certain amount of combat rating with your team. And if you haven't hit it before, it's a bitch. And I honestly, Raf, I don't know about you, but I don't understand the point of it. Do you have any guess as to why they put that on, except just to slow players down? I mean, that's obviously the point of it, right?
I don't think it's just to slow them down, but to force them to invest on heroes they do not usually invest in. Because if you want to
Oh,
fight,
sure.
if for example you have a Thoran cheese in a single stage,
Mm,
you need to have a maxed out Loras, and even if maxing him out, it's not going to benefit you, just because you need to overcome uh, the power cap. And the same goes now, that basically to push single stages, you need almost a full awakened team, and that doesn't really make too much sense because it's not really affordable. But that's where we are. That's where we are at now, because
mhm.
I'm looking at right now at my stage where I'm stuck at, and I need 3 awakened heroes just to try it. And what I mean,
Yeah.
that's just how it works. And
Seriously? Weren't
you're going to need,
people were clearing 51 before they were awakened heroes, weren't they? Have you checked like AFK Helper?
yes.
That's old school, but I used
No,
to
I
use
didn't, but
AFK Helper.
I think they did. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's not too surprising. I mean, uh,
Uh,
engravings made it possible as well.
sure. Yeah. Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I can't imagine what you're looking at in the chapters 50 plus. especially with a free play account. Like, I'm sure it's a nightmare trying to figure out what to use a lot of the time.
Mm,
Um,
To be honest, not too much,
no?
because no, because on one hand,
It's
campaign
to
is
say
not
you're using the same
evolving
heroes that you've been
too
using and you
much.
have in the same kind of situations? Like you've kind
Yes,
of figured it out at this
basically
point?
yes,
Yeah.
because
Makes sense.
people are not focusing on campaign anymore. So
Mm,
we're just using the heroes we build for Cursed Realm and the Nightmare Corridor and all the other things. Because I mean, you're going to build Awaken Belinda not to push campaign, but you know that she's going to be great in campaign, so you just use her in campaign as well. But you are not building her for campaign because campaign is not going to return your investment in her. But having a good Awaken Belinda is going to help you in Cursed Realm, in TS, in NC, in everything. So you want her because she's going to give you some resources back, not just because you want to push campaign, because pushing campaign is not going to give you any resource back.
right.
So that we are going to use the heroes we build for other things in campaign, not the other way around. So that's the reason why campaign is not evolving too much, because we just end up using what we have built for other game modes.
Yes,
It's easier
yeah.
to feel like you're being left behind in Curse Realm, where every single new hero is going to be used, compared to campaign, where we're already at a point where we don't need to evolve what we are using too much. Although there are some changes. I sent on the Discord a few days ago a video of a Maetria team. There was that's a very cool kind of uh, charm with Maetria. They did a um, I don't know if you
I've
can
seen
call
some
it a
really
Maetria cheese, because it's not really a cheese per se, because
sure.
you need the other heroes to do most of the work, and then you can submit it out with some other heroes. I believe I did it in a few instances, but it's a it's a very new team that the you can find different solutions to that, but it's there. And I mean it's the newest thing that I can think
I've
about
seen some
in
really
campaign, but
interesting
other than that,
I've seen some really interesting Maetria teams. I have recently. Um, I think she's one of these heroes that people didn't quite know what to do with at first when she came out, but they're like kind of figuring it out, you know? Um,
yeah, she always had a lot of potential, because at least in campaign, because um, she gets tons of buffs from the death, both from our side, from the allied side, and from the enemy side. So if you're able to kind of cheese everyone and kill some enemy heroes while letting your heroes die, then she's going to have an insane amount of buffs that are going to be even higher than that of Lucretia, and then it's going to make it a cheese. But it's hard to have both your team members die and some of the enemies die at the same time. And so that's a very hard thing to do, to build a team that can kind of work with that kind of I don't know, of that kind of skill. So
yeah,
you need to rely on a weird kind of charm cheese type of situation.
sure, sure. Um, for campaign, I don't know if you've been watching where I'm at right now. Have you been seeing what I've been doing? This Isabella has been boning me at the end here. I tried swapping Khazard with Mahira as well as changing the pet, and it actually seemed to help. Actually, that was going. If she didn't die there, that might have worked. I kept getting to the end here, and it was just Mahira against Isabella, and then she was burning me down. I was using Rock Crown, but he didn't seem to be helping. I'm actually having a better time with Moth. I want to run it a couple more times here with Kaz in the back.
You
Um,
have Resonance 9, right?
yeah, I do.
Because if you should have the souffle kind of
I
hero
do.
there.
Yeah, should I try Souffle here?
And
Sure.
I think he can be kind of fun if you have some type of good damage dealer alive that can just go around. And if you can have Zorath survive, he might
Yeah,
be
I
the
can.
one dealing
Yeah.
damage
Hmm.
while there are
Yeah.
cakified heroes. he calls them that way.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Let me as Bama likes to call cake, it's the what do you call it? The food beast, Bama? He just calls it food. He's like, you should put food in. I like his take on stuff all the time. He's a real no nonsense AFK Arena player. Also very good. Bama, I don't know how you keep up with 11 accounts, man. 13 now or something, right? 12 or 13. But I mean, wow. Yeah, the food beast. Um so we talked about pets and about I have a great little question for you while we're also working through this campaign stage here, Raf. Um said earlier that there's a lot of things in the game. You said there's a lot of things that we can say that are great about the game, but also a lot of things that maybe aren't so great. Like what kind of things were you talking about? Like what bothers you about the game right now?
I think that the thing that bothers me the most is Awaken Heroes because
Yeah.
again, I believe they give you a lot of freedom because it's true that you cannot have all of them at the same time, but they are so powerful that you can force some of them into a team and find a way to make something work with what you have, even though it's not the meta way to do things because they are just so strong. And I like that in campaign because I need to fix things to make work what I have, and having really strong heroes kind of helps, and that's true. But at the same time, there is a way of acquiring these heroes that it's I don't know how to say, but I don't think it's so sustainable in the long time because since we are forced to just get one single time emblem every day,
Yeah,
it's
right. Yeah,
like
totally.
just
Oh, I thought that was
just
working.
random luck. It's going to make a crazy amount of difference because if we take out all the event stuff that we get, because well, it's just to make a comparison a bit easier, but we get one time emblem every day, so it's 365 a year. That means that in a couple of years, just from the daily time emblems, there's going to be someone that has two awakened years just from the daily time emblems, and someone that maybe has just one. And that in the long run, it's going to make a huge difference. And that's not really fair because I do not even have a
Ah,
choice of how I'm using my resources because I'm just buying time
yeah.
emblems
Sure. Yeah.
to
No, I
use
mean
them
we've been forced into
every
it.
single day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're forced into
While
it.
for example, in the normal gazer, in the stargazer, you can decide whether you want to use all of your diamonds or some cards or both. You can actually choose when using the resources or how to use the resources. While in the time emblem case, in the time gazing case, you just need to do it and just hope for good luck. And there is not a reliable way to get those. Like right now, I'm trying to finish my Awakened Natalia, and I'm pushing towers like crazy because that's the only way I can get them. Besides waiting for them to just pop up from the store and other events, and that makes things a bit, I don't know, needlessly constrained. Like they could give us a bit more freedom in the way we use diamonds to just get Awakened Heroes. I mean, I know that I have what people believe is a huge amount of diamonds. I have 100,000 now, but I don't have a need for those
Why?
because I don't have
What?
I don't have I don't have 4 F heroes that I need to build right now. So I just
What? No,
keep
but
them there.
but
And
but
even
but
if I
but 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 Celestials.
yes, that's
What?
another good point. But I don't I don't need other Celestes because they're not going to
Hypogeans.
provide that much of a difference to my.
Hypogeans.
It's the same thing. I know that I could, but I don't believe that right now I'm going to have a benefit from another from another ascended celestial hypogean because I have the ones that I need. Like having I could ascend, for example, Frampton, but I don't feel like that's going to change my account so much. And it's not the 100,000 diamonds that are going to make a difference, because 100,000 diamonds I don't know how many pulls it's that. It's like 50 pulls. I don't know, 20, 200. Uh, let's see.
100,000
It's 100,000
it's
divided.
20
Yeah,
pulls.
it's 200 pulls.
Yeah,
200
200
pulls.
cards. Yeah, 200 cards.
So and
So
that's
yeah,
like the average luck. It's going to be 4 to
you're
5 copies,
yeah.
and that's 100,000 diamonds. So you see, the diamonds are not
Not
that
even.
much
Honestly,
useful
it's like
anymore.
4
So
copies. Honestly, it's really not that much. You're right. I know because
so
I honestly I don't spend diamonds on Stargazer, never have. And it's, probably my heroes have suffered for it, but then again, not really because I I mean, I spend them elsewhere. I spend them elsewhere. I used to be kind of dumb with my I used to spend boatloads on diamonds on Twisted Realm, which was my favorite fucking like mode in this game for the first several years of this game. It was an honor and a privilege to me to be on the Legends board every single day as a free to play. So I took it as a personal vendetta when I wasn't, and I pretty much lived on the leaderboard top 50 at my level for until about last 6 months to a year. About a year ago, it started being not every day, and then in the last 6 months, it's become pretty difficult to get up there much at all because of beasts. Frankly, the different people now they have these level 18 beasts, and it's impossible to do so. But not to get us too far off topic. I used to spend a lot of diamonds on that instead of spending them on stargazing, and so I might have like half of an extra celestial or hypogean had I not spent them the way that I did. But you make an excellent point about how many cards that is in actuality. 100,000 diamonds is really not that many. So these days, I don't spend them until I am very close to finishing or feel like I'm really, really, really not making progress. So I'll spend them a little bit to like push it along, or at the tail end, or like when I bought Belinda last weekend, which was awesome by the way. I've barely got to use. I think we'll bust her out here in a few minutes. But I then, I spent my diamonds this week as much as I could. I was spending them on Stargazer pulls to finish her. But I've been building. I mean, God, how long have I been building Vithael? He's ascended now.
Mhm.
But yeah, but you're right. It takes a bunch of diamonds to get anywhere with Celestials, which is really a pain.
And so since I'm not using them for celestials, and I also have a lot of cards in my bag, I just wish I could use them for Awaken heroes, because those are the ones that I need right now. And just to answer to Raphael is writing in the chat. No, I did not reach nearby in AFK. I missed so many uh, celestial and hypogeans, but it's just I prefer to just build the next big thing rather than have lots of average uh, celestial and hypogeans, because again, I don't feel too much the need of it. While I could just build day one the next big hero. Like, I know that
Yeah,
the next hero is going to be probably a celestial and some kind of goddess. So if she's strong, I know I can build her day one and benefit from an overpowered hero from the first day and get resources from that. While if I build, I don't know, Phantom, I'm not going to get anything out of it, because and I'm going to push a few stages in the hypo tower, or I don't know, maybe it's going to help a bit in some PvP content, but I can do fine without him, and I can build him slowly from the store, so I don't really need it. And by the way, I think
I
that
was
if
just
you
gonna
want to
ask you. Yeah.
clear this fight fast, you could just put in the rock lizard and take out, I don't know, either I think just Zolrath and put in Belinda and just
Yep.
let her do the work.
Yep. Fair enough. uh, let's see. They ate that first one. Whose ability is that that's eating that energy?
What energy?
I mean, did she ult? I think she didn't ult, right? Or did she and it just lagged? I thought she was getting out here, watch. Belinda's energy. Oh, well, there's now she did it. I don't think she did it last time. Maybe I'm just missing the I thought it was happening a few times that ults were I thought people were losing energy, but I wasn't paying that much attention to what the other team was.
Um,
No, I
Isabella
think it's just
steals some
lagging.
energy, so it's
Tatrana maybe? I don't know. It looked like she lost some
Isabella.
energy.
Isabella steals energy, but if she's charmed, she's not going to steal your energy, of
Mm.
course.
Right. Audio here as well. Oh, you know what? I think it's turned
You could
off on
also try
auto.
swapping Belinda with Rosalind.
Oh yeah.
The light is not omnipotent, but it will forever light my way.
You tell him, girl. I really am. I have a big crush on her now. I had mostly just been denying the idea of getting her because I felt like I wanted to save my cards. But I I've really I've bought in at this point. I do. I'm really glad to have her. And obviously I made that decision with a lot of forethought, as you know. She's just everywhere. And yeah, sure. Not a bad idea, but I kind of thought I was already, honestly. I think I did it earlier before when I didn't have my hero in. Belinda's just everywhere, and as we talked about, Raf, like you made the point that you think that no one's even going to come close to her damage output for a long time, and even if they did, it wouldn't make her any less valuable.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a monster, man, and she's everywhere. Like that was the main reason that I did it. Is there's just so many game modes where having her or not having her rather was crushing me. So, oh, you know what? I don't think I've checked her. I don't know what her artifact is. I don't even know if she has one. It's I. What do we want? I or no? Right? Wait. I don't know. She's new. Tell me what to use.
I think I is the better one
Okay.
for her, but there are situations in which you may want like Cole just because she benefits a lot from a special from energy recovery,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, that's basically it. She can go well with Windbinder or
I'm wondering if
with
Windbinder
the
would
book for mages.
would get her an extra ult in time, although it doesn't because it slows it down in the end, right? It only just makes the first one hit faster. I don't know. Let's just see what happens.
Mm-mm.
I could also change beasts here.
I'm afraid that if you take out the rock lizard, you're not going to have either Rowan or Rosalind survive. But you could just try and see if there is someone else you can use.
Yeah, Bama. It wasn't the book
And
though. Sorry, what?
I I
Um,
wouldn't use the book on Belinda in this fight because you want Mehira to ult as fast as possible
that's
because
true.
with the with the book you Belinda is going to ult first, but then Isabella, Satrana are all going to melt you
Mm-hmm. Wait,
just
say that
enough.
again. That's really great analysis. What are you saying?
I don't hear you too well right now, so I don't know what you just said.
You said you were talking about why you want Mahira to ult first, and why Belinda having the book on would change that. Or you want her to, I don't know, get what you were saying, and you were talking about, yeah.
Um,
You want Maetria to
can you
all,
hear
you
me
said,
fine?
I can hear you fine now, yeah.
You sound like some kind of robot. I don't know. But basically, if in this case, if Belinda ults before Mehira, it's because Belinda is going to take the potion from Rowan. So Mehira is going to use
Right,
her
the
ultimate
Rowan
later.
potion.
And if she waits, then you're going to have Satrana, Isabella, Talion, and everyone just killing everyone in your team. So you want to charm them as soon as possible,
Right.
basically.
Right, yep, so we want Maetria to take the Rowan potion. Yep, makes sense. Which is another reason that we might want Rosalind on Maetria rather than on Belinda.
Right now, you have enough firepower from Belinda and
Yeah.
Rosalind to just
Mm-hmm.
kill them all in one go. I think that using Belinda in the place of Zorath is going to help just to kill a bit faster Tali and Satrana, but
I wish
it just
isn't it the worst that I have an E60 Khazard and he still falls over right there? That's just terrible,
I mean,
man.
I think that any hero will fall right there because
Yeah, I mean
you have
we are at a 300
unless
and
they have
something
some kind of
deficit.
immunity. Yeah, and there's no way to dodge anything there because it's for mages. So
Right. Yeah, we're at a 306 deficit. So mage on the front line is obviously not ideal. Yeah, man. I don't know. It's kind of stumping me. You know, this thing that used to work for me, that never made sense either, was is the fact. Have you ever noticed that putting heroes in and out will sometimes like get you a better result if you change something rather than if you just keep mashing the button over and over again or starting it over and over?
yeah, yeah, I did. And another thing that I noticed that it has been helping me a lot in campaign. It's just starting from the hardest team and work my way backwards from the hardest to the
Yeah,
easiest.
I do that too.
I don't
Often.
know why, but that has been helping me a lot, and I believe that usually charms are the hardest fights. So I would have started from the charm, or well, I didn't really remember the other teams, but I think that
Sure.
charms is right now one of the most RNG team that you can have.
Yeah,
And
that's
I also think that we are not using that anymore in later chapters
huh.
that much.
Interesting. You're not seeing you're not using charm as much now, you're saying in the 50s as much as you were. Oh, come on boys. This
No,
looks good.
not that
This
much.
looks good, doesn't it? It looks good. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Ha ha ho. Oh my god, die, you bitch.
Yeah,
Woo.
that's doable. You just want Isabella to die, and that's it. Okay.
Yep. Whew. As I was saying, sometimes just taking
Okay, then you
heroes
have.
out and putting them back in is
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I suspect that you are hearing me on a delay from the stream. I don't know if are you watching, and if you see me talking, is it a
Yeah,
while back?
I'm watching, but I muted the stream.
Oh, well,
I muted the stream
I
to hear
figured you'd
from
have
this
to do
one.
that. Yeah, but I just mean like for my reactions to things are not happening on the screen yet a little bit because I was all yes,
Yeah.
yes, and you're like probably didn't see it going well yet. That's
No,
funny.
I'm watching the stream like, well, I saw that the fight was going to go well, but I see the I see the stream. I hear you say things, and
Yeah.
then I see you repeat them in the stream.
No, I'm sure that's
I'm
weird.
talking right now, but I see you talk in the
Right.
stream.
Right. It's weird, man. It's like you're seeing the future, or you're living in the future.
Or maybe I'm watching the past. I don't know.
Whoa! No, wait, that's what video is.
Yeah.
Wait. I don't know what Let Us Be Friends is talking about. I hope they're talking about some. Wait, what? What you talking about, Elizabeth? Who? What? Who's that? He said, "Imagine awakened Elizabeth." I think honestly, you guys, I think the next Awoken light bearer should be Lucius, in my opinion. I think he'd make a killer Awoken hero. Everybody loves him, and it would let them stop investing in the other one, please God. I mean, no matter how many times I say it, we probably get 40 applications or so to defaced every day, I'd say. And most of them are nowhere near the chapter requirement that we ask very clearly in our in like the low guild info, which is instantly not great because it means you probably didn't read it. But I would say I probably see 2 to 5 engraved Lucius pretty much daily. Sometimes to E60s, more often than you would believe. I see it to E80, and so Lord knows that would.
I can believe that.
Yeah, I know I can't believe it. Yeah. So I mean, hopefully that would maybe keep people from investing in him as much as they do. I think one of the best things that I've seen them add in a while is um, the grit on Test Realm. Oh, something else that I want to do today. I totally forgot. I'll pull up my test account. They added that new hero, the Light Bearer, by the way. But
Oh yeah.
before I forget, the Legacy of Grit is it's this great thing that they added where I think it's the first 2 months of playing. It's actually, I think it's your first 60 days after X point. I don't remember what that point is, but after reaching some certain point, um, you are able to swap any hero for any 4F hero for actually I think any hero for another in the same way that the hero swap worked that happened already. I don't know if Awakened are eligible or not. I haven't looked, but you earn it by
I don't think so.
yeah. You earn it by completing 100 out of 100 on the weekly. And each time you do that, you earn a reset of a hero up to, I think, 8, which is just exactly what they need to be doing for new players, because no one knows what they're doing as a new player. And unfortunately, they don't last that long. So I think that probably it would be more helpful if you could do it anytime in the first 4 months or something, because I'd say 2 months is right around the time that most people like start looking things up and would discover that, oh, I'm not doing things right. But it's at least a start. I mean, it's a huge step, but more than they were doing. So I think it's awesome that they've added that. I really do. Um, So anyway, I think Awoken Lucius would be just perfect. I think he deserves it as a character too. It suits his. Plus, he's involved in Awoken Belinda's story. So like it works there as well.
The only thing that I think it's going to prevent Lucius from getting awakened is I don't know how easy it is for them to find a way to make his design cool enough to be an awakened hero because he's very
Whoa, the
he's very plain
Lucius
and they try to.
hatred, bruh,
I know, I'm a
bruh.
supporter of Lucius. I like Lucius,
Eh.
but I mean I used him a lot in the early days, but I don't know if they can make a way to tweak the design so that he's like faithful to the
Dude, they
original
can
one,
do
but
anything
also
they want with
cool enough
Awoken
to be
heroes.
awakened.
They can do anything they want, man. They could make him away. You don't know what kind of plot they could give him. They could give him an edgy plot, man. And he's got that long blonde hair. Um,
You mean like a hypo or Lucius awakened?
like a what? A hypo? Yes, yes, yes. He should sell his soul and become a Hypogean. Actually, what I thought was Lucius could be the new Awoken Graveborn. How sick would that be?
I don't know if they.
If he died and was
I
awoken
think
as a
they will end
Graveborn?
up doing something like that, but I don't know if
I
they will
would
just.
love
I
for the
mean,
next Awoken Graveborn to be a killed light bearer. That would just fucking epic. That would be so epic.
well, I mean, you mean one of the light bearers we already have, right?
Yeah. Not a new one. Not like a Maetria. I mean, I get why they wanted to throw in some other character from lore, and I think it was a fair shot to do it once in a while. But I do believe that one of the things people look forward to with Awoken Heroes is seeing the redesign on it. And also, Awoken really does imply, like, someone we already know and look, they got a makeover. You know, I mean, that's kind of what you want out of it. It doesn't have to be. I like that they did it differently for once. I think that honestly, as someone who works in entertainment and from a marketing standpoint, it wouldn't surprise me if part of the motivation of that was simply for them to be like, we don't always want people guessing, so this will throw them off a little bit and or open up the world of what they guess so that they're not demanding certain heroes because I'm sure it has to a certain extent. They added some hero that we didn't even have before, so you never know what they're gonna do. But and again, this is all my personal opinion when I say that, like, I would like it if they only did that every so often and didn't make that a regular thing. So yes, I think that it would be a brilliant move for them to take a light bearer and make them the next Awoken Graveborn, because they wake up after death. That's the whole thing, you know?
Yeah, I also agree with the Maetria thing. The only thing I don't like about Maetria is that she is like she looks exactly like Talina, and I mean they could have changed the design a little bit more just to make her stand out and like be her own character and like
Oh,
this is
totally
it's just
agree.
like
Honestly, it hadn't occurred to me that she looks
they
that
call
similar,
them
but I
they
mean,
call
yeah, she does.
her
Sorry, what?
and no they call her Emmeline instead of Talina,
I
and
know, yeah,
I
people
think
do.
that makes sense. And but lore-wise, like as my data, I don't know if I butchered the name or something like that, but
I just call her
he's right,
Mysol.
and like the content in the game explain who Maetria is, and it makes sense that she got awoken. I mean, to me, it's fine
Yeah,
the
it
story and
does.
everything. The only thing I don't like it's the design because I get that she's an obsidian finch, so it's going to look like Talin in a way, but like that is a bit too much. I believe
Okay.
something different, something a bit. I don't know. I think she is
Yeah,
cool
I see.
in her own
You
way,
think
but
she looks? Yeah, she looks too much like Taylene, and not just like they're of the same race. You're saying?
yes,
Yeah,
and we already have enough of Talin because we got Talin,
we
the skin for
certainly
Talin,
do.
and then away from Talin, and then again.
Yeah, they could have made a. Yeah, you're right. There's actually, when you think about it, there's no reason that an obsidian finch needs to look anything like Taylene. They could have. Finches could be and they're a mythical being. They could be a vastly different array of looking creatures that are all bird-based. There's so many different looking birds. You could make a bird-based, basically like a bird ghost is kind of what they went for, right? You could do a lot of different bird ghost looking cool shit that doesn't look like Taylene. So I'm with you there, pal.
Yeah.
Speaking,
I also want to say I
yeah,
don't know how long I'll be staying on the stream because I
I
think
was just seeing how
in
late it
something
is.
like
That's okay.
15 minutes, 30 minutes,
Hey man, we've already done
I'm going to leave.
so
So
much. So maybe you want to do the questions if people have them.
yeah, whatever. I mean, just whatever if there is something you really want to do,
Yeah,
really want to ask, really want to me to say,
sure.
just
I
tell
do.
me
Yeah, I
because
think I had
I
a
believe
couple.
in.
Yeah, I get you. Totally. Yeah. Um. So If anybody had questions that they wanted to directly ask Raf today, not that he's around, he's around a lot as in chat and stuff, but I do think, at least on my end, I think this was so fun and went really well that I told him that if he wants to come back in future, we'd love to have him back on, semi-regularly if he wants to, because we had a lot of fun, even, every couple months, however often he wants to. I'd be fine with every couple weeks, so whatever he wants to do. But if there's anything,
as I said,
uh-huh.
I'm okay with coming back. I had fun, and it's a good way to practice my English because I don't get to speak it very so often. So I feel every time like, what was the pronunciation for this word and that word, and I'm stuck in my head thinking about these things, and then
Bro, your
I feel
English
like,
is fantastic.
I'm almost,
it really
thank
is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But it's a good practice, and well, besides that, it was fun, and I enjoyed my time here. So I'm going to come back. I don't know when, because I'm still in the busy part of the year. But
yeah, you said.
I believe that in the summer I might even come on in times where it's a bit more comfortable for
sure. Well, you got to give us time. You got to
friends,
give me time to you got to give me time to come up with some a whole new set of things I wanted to ask you about anyway, but I don't think it'll take very long. Before
well, no, I'm always there reading sometimes in the chat when I can, so just ask away if there is anything you need to know immediately.
And yeah, if anyone has other questions, why don't you guys now would be the time to ask them. But I think I had a couple more I want to pick your brain about. But before we do that, I just wanted to say, are you looking at the screen? Do you see this badass motherfucker?
Yeah.
You could awake this guy. Come on. You could. I mean,
Yeah, it's just that I think that purely support and defensive heroes are not very marketable for Awakening. I think because even looking at the heroes we have now, the only one that it's not that has no way of dealing damage and has no way to really shine in the numbers is Awaken Disease, and he's basically useless. So all the other heroes have been in a certain way also damage dealers, and have always had a way to be like to shine in the numbers, because a lot of people really do not understand the game to the extent of, okay,
to the extent
we know
of what
that
we're doing, sure.
Rowan is so overpowered in the way he works, but he's not going to show that up in the numbers, because you know that what is good about him.
Sorry, who?
His signature. Rowan.
Yes, right. Okay.
We know he's good for his signature item, but that's basically it. And we know he's strong because of that. But if you look at the numbers, you're not going to see that. So
no, you're not going to see it. Yep.
You need to know what support heroes are going to do, and if you don't know that, then you're not going to look at those heroes that are not dealing damage. And so an awakened hero that you cannot see dealing damage for a more casual player that is still spending money or is just saving up for another awakened hero, then those are not going to be as interesting as heroes that we immediately see dealing damage. For example, Awakened Thane, when he released, we immediately saw that he was going to deal immense damage, and everyone wanted him, even though in the end, at least in campaign, we're not using him for his damage, but for something else, and we use him for the damage in Curse of Element. Well, now he's a bit outdated there, but he's still good in different ways and not anymore for the damage, but we can still see the damage. And so for newer players, he's still somehow interesting, even if you're not so experienced, because you can see the numbers. But for heroes like Awakened Disease, you're not going to see the numbers, so it's not going to be as interesting. And I think that an Awakened Lucius can be really interesting if he's like an insane damage mitigator, because we do not have good damage mitigators in the game, because anything in campaign gets immediately melted in seconds if you don't have like good CC and a good strategy behind your teams. You cannot rely on survivability. Either you have good dodge on the carry, or there is not much you can do. And so having a really strong mitigator and the healer and support unit can be interesting, can be fun, but they have to really focus a lot of resources in doing it right, because if they make it too strong, then it's going to break the game. If they make him just as strong enough, he's going to fall off immediately, and then he's going to be the next Awaken disease, and I don't think they want that for Awaken heroes. And as a matter of fact, they did not release weak Awaken heroes since Awaken disease. So
Yeah, no, that's a great point, that it's hard to keep anything that's not a damage dealer balanced. It's a really great point, man. But I do think that it's kind of time for an Awoken tank, like a real tank. They haven't had one since Taylene, obviously. And I just think, like, I thought when they announced Awoken Heroes, what I said was, the first thing I said was, you know, obviously as a free-to-play player, I'm gonna have to save up tremendously in order to, you know, these are not, I knew right away that they weren't gonna be a commonplace thing for me. And hey, real quick, what should I do here? So that I can get it going while we're talking. Let's real quick, and then because I know I can come back to that in a sec. What
I saw that there was a team using Scarlet there, and I
Yeah,
think
should I
that
try
is
it? Yeah, okay.
a good option,
Yeah. I
because Scarlet, when she has good control, so that can be good.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Not her, I think Queenie.
I
And uh uh for fun. Oh, you know what though? You know who I think it was? Actually, I just remembered who it was. But I think it was actually Geralt.
yeah, they're using him a lot in campaign.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I can sub him out quite easily, so I tend not to use him.
Do you
And
have him
also,
invested
he's
in?
very
Have you
strong.
invested in Geralt?
Not too much. Mine is like 20 F9, and he might be slightly engraved. No, he's not engraved. So I
Wow, you have 9F
just
on him? Damn, I wish. Here's my guy.
yeah, but
You know, I'll
it's
tell
just
you this,
something
man.
that I did like
He
last week.
needs the 30. He needs the 30 SI, in my opinion. It makes it just it really and the 30. He needs the 30 and 30, kind of like Vithael. Because I mean, this gives him the crit boost, right? And it lasts so long that it's noticeably there. But even more than that, he needs the engraved to 30 if you want him to be as useful as he can be, you know. Because the 30 it's the haste, yeah. So then when you get this and you stack it with the 9F, which I don't have yet, and then he starts like doesn't the 9F add the freeze? It does. Do you know what his 9F is?
I was looking at it right now, and it says that it enhances one of his spells with a piercing cold mutation,
I think it
increases
gives it
the
a
range
freeze,
while it
yeah.
is for 3.5 seconds.
I'm not sure. Oh wait,
And
hold on. I know the way to check it. Oh no, no, I was gonna do this, but that doesn't help. Because that's his 60. That's the way to check that.
but
I think that I'll just check it. So you sub him out pretty easily, you were saying?
yeah, because I feel like there are better options most of the time, and I've had to to change around the 5 full style of comps a lot, so I know what I can use quite quickly when I'm using my heroes. So I just end up using the heroes that I know, and just I just let it be, and that's it. So
Yeah,
I don't go
this guy's
use.
Geralt isn't invested in at all. I'm a huge Witcher fan. So again, The Witcher, Geralt and Yennefer. Although Geralt is kind of like because he pairs well with Yen, and I really like his ability to fear Graveborns and Hypogeans. I like tricky things like that in games in general. Like that's a pretty unique ability, it is. So I like to try and find new uses for things, and I have been playing this game for 3.5 years, man. Not 3 years and some change, and I have only just reached a point where I can start kind of playing around with stuff and succeed when I do it. I mean, you really have to have the squad to be able to play around these days in the way that I want. In the way that I'm talking about, where you can really explore and find new things. You don't have to, but it helps. I can do it. I guess I can do it much more freely. Obviously, if I wasn't able to do that from the start, I wouldn't have been playing for 3.5 years. But I'm able to do it in lots of places now. Whereas, you had to like pick places where you could do that before if you wanted to, play at a high level. And so being able to have all these different tools available to me, it's really gotten fun in the last few months, I would say. With all the different heroes finally built, it has really gotten even more fun than it was because of stuff like that. So I built obviously I'm not like using red cards for his furniture or anything. I don't think I did on Yen either. I just hit on her really quickly. But it's fun for me. That's part of the reason that I chose to invest in them. It's really a combination of things that led to that. But Yennefer, I've been back and forth and right on the fence with pushing her to E60 just because I think that I could find some pretty creative uses for that bubble of hers pushing everyone back from the other team every 6 seconds. It sends them back to the enemy side. And I feel like there's got to be a lot of fun ways that I could use that. But it's more like an idea that floats through my head all the time, and it's not something that I have ever and probably will ever have the courage to really do. But I think about it. I really? She had the call on, I guess? Must have. Does that look right? Does Scarlet have the eye on? Or Scarlet have the sorry, does Scarlet have the call on? I mean, that sounds right for
Yeah,
something
she
like
did.
this. Yeah, she did. Okay. How are you doing on time?
I think that I still have like
Okay.
10 minutes if
Cool.
you
Yeah.
want. I think that if you want to just cheese this one, you can just put Belinda in the place of Scarlet, and it might make things a bit easier. But then let's just see how it plays out like this. I think it's going to be quite solid. The only problem I think that the main problems are going to be Wukong and Isabella if she does not get enough fear from Geralt and Talisman.
Sorry, one more time. I just got hit with like 6 different things in chat that I hadn't looked at. Wait, what was the last part of that? Say that again. I apologize, brother.
I think that it's not going to be too hard to win this fight. I think that the main problems are going to be Wukong and Isabella. Isabella only if she's not getting enough fears from Geralt and Talisman.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think that if you want to win this one easy, you might just
Belinda,
want to
I
swap
heard that.
Scarlet
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
with Belinda, and that
Okay.
should be easy enough.
Yeah, we'll do that. You mean use 2 Awakened in the same lineup? Haha. Well, that's a thing I can do now. Eyeball on her or book? Also, do you want to change any artifacts?
I will go with Eye.
Yeah, okay.
Especially since you're using Queen, I'd go with Eye on.
And everyone except
on Belinda as well.
yeah, and the other guys are physical damage too. Something a lot of people don't think about is the PR on the eye. It really can help you in situations where you're kind of on the line with stuff, guys. That 10 PR on the Dura's eye is actually quite useful defensively sometimes. Yeah.
I think you should also check out. Well, I think you should change the special on Belinda's, and I think you
Oh
should
yeah, I was
just
just
put
gonna say. I was just
4
gonna
on
say. I
Belinda
don't
as
know.
well, just to
Yep.
make her ult a bit.
What was the second part? Sorry.
I think that also Cole should be better on Belinda, just to let her ult use her ultimate a bit more frequently than she is right now, because
Okay.
she's a little slow without any support without any support around her.
Okay. I'm gonna do something here, real quick. I need to open. This right here. This is this is how you. This is how. Actually, like, can't think of the word. I've already ruined it. But this is how you guild lead, guys. This is how you guild lead with Flare. Popping out a campaign with 4 teams down to open Soren, and then we're gonna pop back in if I mean, hopefully. Oh yeah, geez, Soren is much delayed. Sorry about that. Appreciate the notice, Stone. We have a little thing in our guild that I say that I started saying way back when before I was even an officer. I used to say like Soren time, and then I felt like I was being annoying because I'd always be the guy reminding him right when it was ready, which speaks to definitely foreshadowing of how much I was gonna love this game and be that guy because I'm always trying to get the most. But so I started saying it different ways and like, what time is it? Like, hey, anyone know what time it is? What time is it, guys? And now it's like it's a thing in our guild. 3 years later, what time is it? Soren time. Like a little call and response thing. Literally, that's how I got my officership. I think half of it was just for them to shut me up. 3 years later, I'm the guild leader.
Did it work?
What'd you say?
Did it work? Did that shut you up? Did it work to shut you up, or?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Then at that point, I was just announcing it to everyone because I could open it myself. So then it became, what time is it, to let them know that it's Soren time. So kind of. I certainly got off their backs about it. Yeah. All right. So now we back. And let's try call on Belinda.
And remember to change the special.
Yep.
On Belinda.
Yeah, good call. Yeah, that should. I mean, I guess one should just think about it, but I feel like it should be a little bit more. It wouldn't hurt to have like a thing you could turn on and off that would be like actually a graphic here that like showed the face of whose special was going. That'd be kind of nice, right? Instead of the SP, if it just showed like a little face image of what hero it was, that'd be kind of cool. Actually, I would like that even all the time. I guess you could turn it on and off if they wanted to be generous, but frankly, I think it would be better.
Because we have some kind of way to notice things, but it's not that easy to see. And if someone doesn't know it, or if someone just has one single Awakened hero, when you get 2, it's not going to be that easy to realize that the kind of aura that the Awakened hero has is the way to see that the Awakened skill is.
Where else can you see it? Or are you just saying how it's different with each graphic? You mean like each effect has a different graphic?
No, I mean that you can see which Awaken skill is on based on the kind of effect that is around the Awakened hero that has um the special skill activity. Like right now you can see that it is on Belinda because Belinda has all the animation around her. But if you change on Brutus, you're going to see that all the sparkly animation is going to be on Brutus. So you can see from
Okay.
that, but it's not
And
not very easy to know because
yeah,
you just
sure,
started out, you just got your second awake, and it's not going to be something
yeah,
you pay attention to because you're
sure,
used to have that active on the year you just had
sure.
before.
Boy, this is a pain in the ass. I'm missing that guy. Oh, so I know a question that that somebody had for you from my Reddit post. They asked me, and I thought this would be a good question for you. Is they asked me what I thought about Granit getting Granit 30 SI because they're a free player coming up. I think they're in chapter 42, the person who asked it. Although it got seconded by several players afterwards, actually, after I wrote back and told them what I thought, and then said also I'd ask you. But they wanted to know, if they should invest the emblems because they're trying to save for something. And what I told them was, I don't know if in today's world, if I was doing it all over again, if I would invest in Granit's 30 or not, especially with so many killer heroes that are freshly out or coming out. You've got Rem and Amelia right around the corner. And at the time that I built Granit, his 30 SI was there wasn't a lot going on, right? Right after he came out, the couple months afterwards, it was definitely within the first 6 months. I remember at the time when I was building him, I remember thinking, like, am I really about to, because it was one of the times that I invested in something that seemed kind of out there or like kind of niche. But I remember at the time thinking, am I really going to do this? Yeah, I am, because there just wasn't that much else to invest in at the moment. And it was a big way to up my progress in campaign. So I did it. And I use it, fairly regularly now because it's a great fucking skill to have. But I wonder what you would think about. Actually, the thing that I had told them that I thought I could ask you today on the stream is what you would sub for him if they don't have him. But I'd also love to get your take on whether you think it's a good investment for someone that doesn't have it in today's world. I know what you're going to say too, which is probably it depends what they're building and what they like to do. But go for
And
it.
well, that's the answer for everything.
Yeah,
But
but
to make it quite quick,
mm-hmm.
Granit is just a campaign hero, so you're going to use him either in campaign or in the
Tower,
model
but not
tower.
even
So
really. Not even really. Yeah.
and so that's basically it. So if you do not need, because Granit is also going to be used only, I think, in Lucretia's cheeses. So and Lucretia is falling off a bit right
Yep.
now. So
Yep.
you're going to be fine without Granit.
That's
Now,
kind of, yeah.
who
That's what
to
I told
sub
him.
him for? There are no heroes that can do what he does in the same exact way, but there is Nemora with her F9 that's a very quick CC that is at times even better than Granit's. It's just the Granit can just paralyze and
Hey, this
keep
poll looks good, by
many
the way.
heroes still. Yeah, it's looking good. The only thing is Isabella dead?
Huh? I can't tell. I can't
Did
tell.
you?
It's kind of laggy and a mess, but I think it's going. I think it's happening.
Yeah.
I think Queenie has him in that CC capture here. Isabella might be dead. I don't know. You would think
Yeah,
that,
the only problem is going to be Wukong because Wukong can get out of CC at
right?
times
Yeah,
and he has an undodgeable attack, so
right.
that can be a bit
So
worrisome, but yeah, it's looking
yeah,
good.
it is looking good. Yeah. So subs, that's what I told them was I said I didn't know because I don't have. Oh fuck yeah, I think we got this. I didn't know, but do you see I went back to Scarlet, by the way?
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
yeah. I don't know. do you have Damon 9F? Do you know if that ability is any good with Lucy? Because it reads to me like it would be, but I've never really been able to test it. I guess I haven't tried it with a Merc. Oh, come on. Shit. We might not
And
do this. Oh, no. I might clock out. Oh, God. I'm
yes,
not going to
Carlos
have the
died.
DPS.
Well, I don't. Well, I think that Damon's 9F is there just for the damage that you get from the extra stats from the furniture, but
yeah, but wouldn't it be
it's
kind
not
of similar to
that
when
good that you
Granit
won't even.
dies? Because that's the reason you get Granit is for him to die, right? Or for the
Yeah,
stun.
but the effect you have on Granite is yeah, it's the stun that it's really good on Granite because it's
Yeah.
instantaneous, it's safe because it is going to happen. There is no way to dodge that, and
True.
it just works. Whereas with Daemon, you just get a shield that it's not going to give you that much of a buff, and just one good round of. I'm not
I thought it was like a
100% sure, but I
40%.
think
It's a
that you
40%
cannot
damage
dodge attacks
increase, isn't
from
it?
shield.
That's why 40% damage increase. Or who are you talking about? Granite or something?
No, with Daemon, I think that the shield is going to just go away quite quickly, so I don't think you're going to get uh, and also, I was reading Daemon's skill because when the effect on Daemon is that the enemy that deal damage on to the shield are going to receive more damage. So if he dies, yeah, you get the 40% extra damage, but it's only for a short while, and it's only if he has the shield on, and you're not going to be sure that he has the shield on when he dies because he's going to die
Hey!
quite quickly.
We got it down.
I did not see that because it has happened just now,
Yeah.
and I really really need to go now.
Okay, buddy.
So
Perfect
well,
timing, huh?
it was nice being here, and
It was.
yeah, perfect timing. And well, I hope I can get back soon, like
Yeah.
in a few weeks
We'd love
on
to
the
have you
stream,
back,
and
man. This was a lot of fun.
I
I
wish
think,
everyone a nice stream.
and we'll see you again soon. I'm sure you're
And
always
yeah,
around here.
well,
And yeah,
yeah,
this was great, man. Being able to talk
yeah,
about the game with you, I think really adds something.
yeah.
Some of the
Just
end game kind of
just a
conversations
little
that I'm able to do.
mm-hmm. last minute thing I want to say. If anyone has anything they want to ask me, they can just find me on the Discord and just ask. I'm going to answer.
Perfect.
I'd rather answer on the Discord than
Yeah.
in the game because the game chat that I don't really like it. So
Much
that's it.
easier that way. Yeah,
Bye bye.
all right. I'll throw the link in the Discord, and thank you, Raf. I really appreciate it, brother. We'll see you again soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Isn't he great? The best. Even he's pretty much the same on the phone as he has been in AFK chat for years. That's the first time I've spoken to him in voice chat. So that was awesome. That was exactly how I thought it was gonna go. That was so fun. And yeah, we'll have to have him back again sometime. I really like being able to to bounce ideas off of him, and gosh, he knows so much about this game. Like for everything that I know, like he's my like a lot of I love obviously you guys know I love answering questions. I love this game. I love helping people, but like he's who I go to. I'm when I have questions, man. He is the best.